match have decided to split the prize. So instead of a match, I am giving you some player interviews here now on these decks. So joining me first is no stranger to the stream. Once we get him in the camera here, Mike, slide in a bit. Mr. Mike White. You guys know this guy. You've seen him multiple times before. And so, Mike, you decided to play the red splash green devotion deck. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the deck and why you decided to play it first?
Okay, so a few weeks ago I saw the red-green devotion and I saw the red-white devotion. I saw lots of lists in tournaments, and I thought it would be a kind of deck that I would enjoy playing. I wanted to get away from the aggro decks in the format because I was just kind of getting a bit tired of playing them. I found that they didn't do well. It seemed like Midgard's metagame was very heavy mid-range,
Right.
so I decided to sort of, you can't beat them, join them, and I really liked Red Devotion.
You're getting paid.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, and so and yeah, as you mentioned before, the one of the more common ways of playing the red devotion deck is with the splash of white for
Yes.
cards like Chain to the Rocks and Boros Charm. But you decided to play the green for Domri Raid, Destructive Revelry, and Mistcutter Hydra. So, did you find that those were? You just found that they were better for our meta, or?
I think they're better for the meta right now. As you probably noticed watching the stream today and some of the recent tournaments, there's a lot of mono blue here. There's a lot of mono blue, and there's even a few. And the control, white blue control has a lot of trouble with Mistcutter Hydra. Well, Esper less so, but white blue has a lot of trouble with Mistcutter Hydra. So that's one of the big advantages. Today, actually, I did find that I boarded out Domri a number of times.
Okay.
Just often it seemed like especially if I was boarding out a few creatures, Domri was almost definitely going as well, because, or at least cut down the number, because his +1 starts to get worse as your deck is diluted in terms
Right.
of to presented creatures. Yeah, as far as the white splash deck, it's also solid. Like, it's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. They're both really solid decks. I mean, it depends on what the field is like and what you feel like you might run into. Yeah,
Okay.
I really can't say for sure. I haven't played the white one yet. I haven't piloted the white one yet, but I probably will at some point.
Okay, sounds good. And there's one other thing that I wanted to ask you about. Unlike a lot of these decks, you are playing Chandra Pyromaster in your deck.
Yeah.
One in the main, one in the board. How'd you find that card performed for you in this deck?
Today, actually, Chandra was really working out well. There were many times that she was really good in terms of picking out the creature, or even and especially the exile. She has two really good abilities, and then the third is irrelevant for my deck. So,
Right.
but yeah, actually, she was really solid. A really solid card.
Okay, excellent. Well, Mike, congratulations. Thank you for talking to us. And we're going to get John to join us now. John was the other person who made it to the finals. John, you want to sneak in here? All right, well, John, congratulations.
Thank you.
And so today you decided to play the black-white deck. I don't have your deck list here at the moment, but you were playing the Orzhov aggro deck.
Yeah.
So this was close to the list that Channeled Fireball played at one of the recent Grand Prix.
Yes, absolutely.
And so what made you decide to play that deck, and how did you find it?
Well, I've been playing a lot of mono-white, just mono-white aggro. There was the Boros aggro previously, and I didn't really like splashing for the red because I didn't really feel it offered enough to the deck.
Right.
You know, Boros Charm is good, but it's really not all that great against all these like heavy mid-range creature-type decks in a lot of cases. You know, and a lot of times there it's just, you know, another Brave to protect one of your guys, or 4 damage to the head, which is, you know, it's good, but it's not spectacular. And a few kind of okay sideboard options.
Okay.
But with the Orzhov version now, I find that it lets me play Orzhov Charm in the main deck, which is really great removal.
Yep.
And it provides the real strength, though, is the wealth of sideboard options it offers me. Because I get access to Thoughtseize, I get access to Sin Collector, I get access to Profit Loss, and just all these things are really great for particular matchups.
Yeah, I've seen like Dark Betrayal and stuff in your sideboard as well.
same
So
thing.
very, very powerful. You know, Mono Black didn't seem to come out in force today. So
No, bit of a waste. Lots of mono blue, but
Yeah, the mono blue does seem to have been picking up a lot here recently. And so you say you've been playing the mono white deck now for a little while, or iterations of it.
Sure. Yep.
Brave the Elements. As good as it looks on camera, or even better?
Brave is probably the best card in the deck. Brave is just amazing in almost all cases. I mean, the only deck it's not fantastic against is blue-white control, just because there's not a whole lot that it does for you there. It doesn't let you swing past their creatures. You're typically just protecting a
You might
creature.
catch an Azorius Charm or
Yeah.
something with it, but that's really about it.
Yeah, it's not super there. But in every other matchup, your opponent's playing creatures, it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially with all the monocolor decks floating around these days.
Yeah.
Just makes it even stronger.
Yeah, just giving protection from everything and then attacking through for basically just freely.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, well, one other question I wanted to ask you just before I let you go. You were playing Syndic of Ties in your deck, as I
Yes.
believe it was it a 2-of?
Yes,
in your deck?
two in the deck.
So what made you decide to play the Syndic of Ties? For anyone unfamiliar with Gatecrash drafting, that is the 2/2 for white and a 1 with Extort. So what made you decide to play this Extorting Grizzly Bear in your deck today?
Okay, well, there's a few reasons. First off, it's pretty beneficial that it's a white and 1 instead of 2 white, like Prescient Captain, which makes it a little easier to cast, where I'm bringing so much black into the mana base, plus the 4 Mutavaults, makes double white stuff a little bit hard to cast.
You were playing 4 Mutavaults in your
Yes,
list. Yeah.
Secondly, 2/2, it has a plain vanilla, Grizzly Bear body, 2/2, which is surprisingly good because there's a lot of stuff that targets all those 1 toughness guys that's normally floating around in the deck. So it gives me some protection, the Very Charm, and Electrickery, and Profit Loss, and Shrivel.
Right.
So it just gives me a little more resilience against
A lot of
that.
the more common weapons that are brought in against a deck like yours.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
But the real reason, of course, is the Extort.
Right.
The Extort is just really good, I find. I find in your typical game, you're going to get at least 2 or maybe 3, 2 or 3 Extorts off of it, 2 or 3 triggers, and sometimes in a long game, you might get even more than that. And all those little points of damage, that's like having a 3/2, kind of sort of on the board. It
Right.
also gains you a little bit of life at the course of the game. And,
Okay.
it also gives you a little bit of extra reach in case you get into a board stall. In one game today, my opponents, I had 2 of them, both of them in play, and drained my opponent down from, and the 2 points per spell I was casting was very relevant. And
Okay.
actually, this is what I finished him off with.
Oh, okay, wow. So it worked out very, very well for you today. You were quite pleased with it?
Yeah, pretty happy with it.
Okay, awesome. Well, John, congratulations again.
Great,
Thanks
thank you.
very much for stopping by. And that's going to be it from us, guys. So make sure to tune back in tomorrow. We're having a modern Christmas tournament, same as we did today with Standard, so make sure to tune in for that. So that's John Smith. I'm Chris Doyles. Thanks a lot, guys. And we'll see you again tomorrow.